Perfect. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining our webinar this morning. Um, it's actually a very exciting topic for us this morning. Microsoft Fabric. It's a Microsoft technology. It's been around on the market for just over 12 months or so now, but it's getting a huge amount of traction for lots of different reasons. Varun, my colleague, is one of our senior data architects, has joined me this morning. Varun's going to be doing most of the talking. I'm just going to do the introduction and pass over to Varun now in a second. Varun, if you can go to the first slide there for me, please. Sure. So some of you on the call are very well aware of who Kodak are, and we'd love to see some potential new customers on the call as well. So thank you very much for joining. Kodak are an Irish company. Our two main offices are in Dublin, city centre, and Belfast. We've just over 300 employees. Most are on the engineering side of the business, and we're a Microsoft full stack partner. So we just do end-to-end Microsoft technology. We've always been a data partner over 40 years within business. We started off many moons ago as an Oracle partner, but for the last 20, 25 years, we've been very much in the Microsoft camp from a data perspective. We're their current data analytics partner of the year. And I suppose most importantly for this call, we are an expert in the area of Microsoft Fabric and data analytics, data security. We've delivered 10 Fabric projects in the last 14 months, which maybe some people might think, well, is that a lot? It's like, it is an awful lot when you think about it. The technology itself hasn't actually been in the market for a very long time, and these projects can take quite some time. So we've delivered enterprise projects into public sector organizations, government departments, government entities, also to commercial organizations, especially within financial services as well, would be an area that we do an awful lot of work in, and highly regulated markets. So the projects are complex. So we're very, very familiar with dealing with very, very sensitive data and very complex kind of data environments as well. Varun's going to walk you through what Fabric is and how we deploy Fabric and give you an example of a customer where we have deployed Fabric. But just from my own perspective, what I'm seeing in the market is people are very interested in Fabric because it really helps them to provide like a unified kind of data environment where data can reside in Salesforce, AWS, on-premise Microsoft systems. And Fabric really gives you the opportunity to bring all of your data to one place for enterprise reporting, analytics, governance. It's also a really good step towards providing a really good solid platform for AI. So as every customer that we talk to is extremely interested in what AI can do for their organization, one of the pillars for building any AI solution is actually a really solid data environment, having data that's accessible, that you can get at, but also that you can trust that the data that's actually within your environment is trustworthy, and the results that you're going to get out of any kind of AI system that you use, can be trusted. Like so one thing if you're producing a report and the data may be a little bit off and you might question data, but if you're using AI for automation or you're using AI for customer engagement, you want to make sure that the data is as close to 100% as possible. Another key area will be around real-time analytics. We have a number of customers using it for streaming data. Because it's a SaaS platform, it enables that. Like, it enables the environment for, millions of signals coming into one place at one time. It's been described as being a kind of a dev and user-friendly environment. There's like Fabric, the platform, and Varun will go through this. There's a lot of like core technology in there for data scientists, data engineers, to really kind of get stuck into. It obviously links in really, really well into the developer environments as well. But it's also at the other end a very user-friendly platform for user kind of and business user reporting as it kind of integrates seamlessly into Power BI. And because I suppose it's a Microsoft platform that's been very well received within the market, the amount of integrations into Fabric are huge, like, application integrations. So that could be, as I said, Salesforce, SAP, Oracle, obviously the Microsoft platform of applications, but there are very few high-end applications out there that don't integrate with Fabric now, because the market has seen that, well, look, if we're not integrating to Fabric, we're going to lose ground. So there is a market swell out there. There's a real kind of active community around Microsoft Fabric, and you have like an awful lot of applications kind of building integration points into Fabric. So if you're betting on Fabric as a data platform, we would say it's a good bet. Like the market has moved towards Fabric or moving towards Fabric, and you won't be left alone. So I'm going to hand over to Varun now, who's going to walk you through like what Fabric is, a kind of a high level. He'll go in and talk about how we deploy Fabric as well, and kind of give you some pointers. But we're very conscious that this is only a 40-minute webinar, and this is such a huge topic. And I'll revisit it at the end, but please feel free to reach out to myself after the webinar, and we can set up a one-to-one session where we can get in and talk about your individual needs. But Varun, I'm going to hand over to you now, sir, and you take it away.
Yeah. Thanks, Eamon. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So as like Eamon already have told you about the what's like Fabric is a niche in the market right now, and everybody are actually looking forward to it. So I would be like giving you the high level overview of the Fabric and go through some of the challenges it actually solves. So let's talk about the reality that we all know that enterprise analytics today is very complex. In most organizations, building an end-to-end analytics solution means that we have to stitch together multiple tools and platform, and they are often from same vendor, or they can offer from the different vendor as well. So you may have a tool for data ingestion like Informatica or the Data Factory, and for data storage you may have the Data Lake or AWS3 or the Oracle. And for doing the ETL and for the transformation, you often use the Spark, Python, or SQL. And for a warehouse like Snowflake or the Synapse, and for a dashboard, you may have the Power BI or Tableau. So each of these like component has its own API, permission models, interfaces, support, contract, SLAs, and even each have the different pricing models. And that's lead us to high integration overheads, operation fragility, and the security in issue with the security and the slow time to insight, and it also with the high cost. And all this, like all the fragmentation lead to high cost, fragile pipelines, and constant rework. So as a like one of the quote I often hear from the CDOs, like, I want to be the chief data officer, not the chief integration officer, because there is so much to integrate when you talk about the data platform, and we spend most of our time to integrate the tools rather than being like getting the most out of our data. But there is a silver lining. While the tools may be like fragmented, but they follow some pattern. Like most organizations, like regardless of any industry, need the same code building blocks. They need data integration, they need data engineering, warehousing, real-time analytics, data science, and the business intelligence. And they also need something to store, as called a data lake. And in the end, they need some governance and administration. So Microsoft has like everything. They have Azure Data Factory for it. They have Spark for it. They have the Synapse for data warehousing, for real-time analytics as well, and Power BI for the business intelligence. They have Azure Data Lake Gen 2 for the data lake, and they have Microsoft Purview for the governance administration. But it's still far too complex. Even with all the Microsoft tools available to you, you still end up dealing with different users' experiences, need to choose between the serverless and dedicated pools. You need to like which one you want to go for the platform as services or the software as services. You need open source, or you need the proprietary one, and you need the different security models as well on each storage layers and for the pipelines. And all this complexity slow down the innovation. So despite having all the right tools in place, we are still dealing with the complexity, high integration effort, and data silos. And we need is and what we need is a platform that brings everything together and make it like simple for everyone. And that's exactly what Microsoft set out to build. And that brings us to Microsoft Fabric. The Fabric is a single unified product that takes care of everything an enterprise need for analytics. It includes data integration, data engineering, warehousing, data science, real-time analytics, and the business intelligence. And Fabric is delivered as a SaaS product, as Emma said initially, that it's a SaaS product that provides auto integration, auto optimization, common architecture, central governance, and office-like experience across all the workloads. And Fabric is designed from the ground up to the era of an AI. It's come with the co-pilots, it integrated with it, and that will enhance your outcome of your data. So Microsoft accelerate the data potential for the era of an AI, as I said, and it provide a unified intelligence data foundation. So it's the complete analytics platform that I said. It's integrate everything together very well. And every analytics workloads work seamlessly with one lake to, to minimize the data management time and effort by eliminating data movement and the data duplication. It's lake centric and it's open. Uh, Fabric reduces the pain of of to facilitate the better collaboration at it. And by using and by saying this, it empowers every business user. And with this solution, it makes it easy to connect and use the different analytic tools that your team may need. And in the end, it is AI powered, integrated with um, the Copilot, and you can just use it like to you just put a prompt to the chat GPT saying, I want some insight of this data, inside of this report. That kind of AI thing we are talking about. So this is the high level of the four things which I talked about, that it is everything unified, SaaSified, secured and governed. It's one lake, one copy, open at every tier. Uh, it like Fabric empower user with the deeply integrated Microsoft tools and the team experience, and it delivers AI Copilot to accelerate analytic productivity, discover insights, enable you to create a custom ChatGPT solution with your data.
I think Varun, just on that slide, where I mentioned there earlier on, like the business will probably not see a whole lot, like when organizations implement Fabric, but where the real kind of power from a business perspective and the end users and the business owners comes is really when you kind of get into the right hand side. And like if you look at that second bullet point, this effectively is like having ChatGPT sitting on top of your corporate data, isn't it? Like it's like you start using natural language, you ask questions about your own data.
Yeah.
So without even, you don't really even need to know how to use Power BI, do you? You could just say, show me the top 10 for the last 12 months and compare it to 2 years ago.
Absolutely, that you can do there. Just if you're very new to this thing, new to Fabric, and your team already like prepped the data for you, creating the all the semantic model, all the technology work has been done, and now you are exposed to this data, and you want to create some like basic reports, right? So, and you don't know about Power BI, you can just go directly into there and just create the report template for this data model. And then it will create the charts for you. It will create 4 or 5 dashboards for you at that moment. And then you can talk it through if you want to, slice and dice the data. You want to see a particular data set, or maybe the sales dropping into region. That's kind of stuff. You can ask it and it will give you more information on the report and enhance the report as you go through. But we have to be a little mindful that it's an AI. So we have to be very cautious about not like giving a very long text. We just like give the small fonts and it will create a wonders for you.
Thank you.
And now I'm moving to the next part is the universal compute capacity. So that's the, I would say, the game changer. So like because while having all these engine in one place is great, but it's the shared elastic compute layer underneath that really make it very simple and scalable. Like for example, traditionally you would have to provision separate capacity for the SQL-based queries, Spark-based transformation, real-time analytics, and a Power BI. So that means you have to estimate usage, buying the different SKUs, and managing your resource and silos. But with this universal compute in Fabric, that's gone basically. Every engine, whether it's a Spark pool, it's the SQL endpoint, the T-SQLs, event stream, data pipeline, and your the dashboard, everything will use the same elastic source, and you have to pay for once for this elastic pool, and you can use it for everything for your data needs into the Fabric. And the best part is existing Power BI premium capacities automatically convert to the universal compute, so you don't have to like purchase extra, you don't have to spend anything extra on this. Is very like, very much like converted into the SKU what you want to use. Uh, so the next part is when we say the Microsoft Fabric is unified analytic platform. So we don't just mean it's a technically integrated behind the scene. We mean that every experience across every persona is consistent and collaborative. So whether you are a data engineer working in the Synapse notebooks or the data analyst like building the Power BI visuals or a business user just consuming the insights in the Teams or Excel, you are working with the same workspace, interacting with the same data, governed by the same security policies, and stored in this same lake that's called one lake. And now we have the shared workspace experience while have the collaborative workspaces workflow. It's unified UX for all users. It has built-in CI/CD for proper DevOps and a consistent governance data model across all the services and one lake as your foundation layer. And this makes it incredibly easy for the teams to collaborate without like deduplicating data or re-engineering logic in between the tools. And now we have like talked about that it's all about the workspace collaboration. You have integrated data. Now, what about the deployment? So deployment pipeline in Microsoft Fabric allow you to manage and promote analytic assets like data sets, reports, lakehouse tables, notebooks, pipeline across environment through the dev, test, and prod in a structured and the repeatable way. So in this, you can let's set up three environments: dev, test, and prod for your workspace artifacts. And you can do the seamless promotions, move changes between stages with one click while tracking the differences between schema settings and the connections. It's a CI/CD integration that support with integration with the DevOps and the GitHub for the automated deployment and for the version control and for the rollbacks. And it has the governance built in. So Microsoft Purview combined with Microsoft Fabric for approvals, workflow, audit trails, and policy enforcement during your deployments. And it has the consistency across artifacts. It works for Power BI reports, semantic model, data factory pipelines, notebook, and more, ensuring everything is in sync. Oops, sorry. So we have the Microsoft Purview, but it is as in Microsoft Purview offers a broad suite of the governance and compliance capabilities that span across all the data. But inside the Microsoft Fabric, it's mostly about the risk compliance and your unified data governance in there. So Microsoft Purview provide the governance, compliance, and the discoveries for the key areas, which is automatic data cataloging, in which automatically registers your data sets, pipeline, and models so user can easily search and then discover asset across Fabric. It has the data lineage and the impact analysis. So that means it can track down flow end to end across all the Lakehouse, Notebooks, and your Power BI. It has the sensitivity table and classification and unified access governance, which means work with the Fabric One security to apply all the workspace consistently. Now it's all about now we have talked about the Microsoft Fabric. It's unified, it's SaaSified. Now we dig a little bit deeper into the Lakehouse, which is the lake centric and open one lake, one copy thing. So it is a major foundation of the Fabric because it is where you store all your data. And in Fabric, all compute engine like TransSQL, Spark, KQL work natively off the same data stored in the Delta Parquet format in a one lake, and no more exporting the CSV, staging tables, or creating custom data marts. Let's say, for example, a data set ingested into the lake via data factory, and it can be queried directly using Transaction SQL. It can be modeled into Power BI, and it can be processed into the Spark SQL as well. And that's all without moving or copying data. It just create one copy into your Lakehouse, and you can use the same copy from any tools you want. Whether you want to use into your reporting, you want to do some ML on that, and you want to do some cleansing kind of stuff, that everything can be done on the one copy. You do not have to ingest it again and again into the different lake houses or for your into the tables. Now imagine all your data is in one lake, but access policy differ pretending it's differ depending on where you access it from. So that's a governance nightmare basically. So that's where one security comes in. It enforces universal security model across all engine in Fabric. So that means if a user don't have access to a data set in one lake, it won't matter whether they try from what engine, the SQL, Spark, or the Power BI, they cannot get it. This simplifies compliance, auditability, role-based access control, and reduce the data duplication risk. And now you might have asked that what if your data isn't in the one lake yet? Or what if it's living in the Google Cloud platform or the AWS or even another Azure tenant? So that's where the next feature comes in, called shortcuts. So Fabric shortcuts are one of the most elegant solution to a long-standing problem in the data architecture data movement. With shortcuts in one lake, you can create a pointer to the remote data, whether it's an another Fabric workspace, Azure storage account, or even Amazon S3 or Google Cloud Storage. And it treats it as a native Fabric data. It works instantly. You don't have to ingest or transform anything upfront. Analytics engineers and the AI model can immediately use it, just like the local data. And this makes OneLake the first truly multi-cloud data lake in the industry. And this allowed truly federated architecture with no duplication and instant access. And because the shortcut is governed through one security and purview, your policy still applies even to your remote data. So with OneLake plus shortcut and one security, Microsoft Fabric offers a truly open, governed, and multi-cloud native lakehouse platform. No copy, no ETL, no headaches. Moving on to the next part is the architecture in the Fabric. So architecture, as you can see on the screen, it's mostly based on the Medallion Lakehouse architecture. So what is the it is one of the best practice for building a scalable and maintainable data platform today is called the Medallion architecture, which you may know as the bronze, silver, and the gold layer. So bronze layer is basically a raw data in which you ingest your data as is from the sources, various sources, and it's your audit trail, your single source of truth. And in Fabric, this could be a populated via data factory pipelines or event stream. You can ingest your data via if you want to do real-time analytics that you can do, and if it's a batch processing, you can also do that. And it stores the data into one lake into Delta Parquet formats. And the next layer would be your silver layer, which is called as refined data layer. And this is your cleanse, confirmed, and join data. Here you remove the duplicates, standardized formats, apply business logic. And in Fabric, you can use Notebook with Spark SQL, with Spark and SQL endpoints or data flow gen 2 to cleanse it and to join data together. And in the gold layer is the business ready data, and this is where you start consuming data from this layer. And gold layer tables are often denormalized, aggregated, and modeled for the consumption. And these feed directly into your Power BI semantic models, which support AI models and can also be shared across using one-click shortcuts. Now, it empowers every business users because this is where where Fabric shines for all the business users. It's integrated deeply with Microsoft 365. That means you can share reports via Teams, get alerts in the Outlook, and you can trigger flows in Power Automate, and also use Excel to connect to Fabric datasets. And in even better, you have the Copilot built in, and it can summarize data, explain metrics, generate DAX or SQL queries, and help user to discover the insight faster. Now, like Fabric doesn't just help you analyze the data, it helps you to act on it. Whether it's a drop in sales or a spike in a temperature, you can define trigger and workflows that respond in real time. And this is where the data activator steps in. It's a powerful no code tool that brings real time decision making to your data ecosystem. Like while the traditional analytics helps you to look at what happened and why, data activators go one step further, and it enables real time insight to action workflows without needing code. And you have to define a condition or rule, and when that condition is met in your data stream, data activator automatically take an action. And this could mean that it can you sending an alert, triggering a workflow, or posting a message in your Teams or Outlook. And it is very helpful because you like whether your job you have a for example, you have a job running overall all the nights, the loads are happening, the batch is running, but anything fails, then and there is no one like there to monitor. Then through a data activator, you can create actions that if anything fails or anything happens, what you want to do next. So this helpful in that case. It enables real-time rule-based triggers without any code. You can set conditions on live stream data, as I said, and it can integrate with the Power Platform trigger alert. It can send message Teams or emails, and it can automate the workflows. For the business user, let's think about something like this. You are monitoring the sales performance across a region in a Power BI. And instead of checking the dashboard every day, you could have a data activator notify you automatically when the sales drop below a threshold in a specific region. And then it can trigger a Power Automate flow to alert the regional manager, So it's like very easy for those kind of the scenario where you have to take some action if anything happens. And it's not limited to the business users. For data engineers and for ops engineers, for example, like you have to monitor IoT sensor data. So using real-time analytics in Fabric, when the temperature or reading exceeds a safe limit, data activator can trigger a notification, stop a machine, or it can push the event into operation dashboard, all without coding an alert. You can send an alert to the system. And data activator can instantly send a team or email to manager or even kick off a Power Automate workflow. And this all happens, as I said, without even one line of code. You just need to go and using the UI, you can create all these alerts, all these rules, and it works perfectly. And this bridges the final gap between the data insight and the business actions.
Varun, I suppose you could call that, it's like a data agent, isn't it really?
Data agent, yes.
Yeah. Like as we're kind of getting into the world of agentic AI and kind of being able to, take data, act on it, or agents talk to agents. So your data activator could actually be talking to another AI agent, I presume. And
absolutely, yes, Iman, you're absolutely right about that. Yeah, it's actually works like that. It's very helpful. So that's actually help. Like, if I'll take an example that like in my previous show before this fabric and data activators thing, when I'm working on the traditional monolithic architecture kind of work, we have to monitor the jobs like through the night. And if anything happens, we have to go manually in and do and rerun them and create all sort kind of stuff we have to take care of. But using this, I see it's a game changer for that. There is no overnight sitting in front of the PC and going through all those workflows you have triggered overnight, and you would be finding out what's error, what caused it. By this data agent and data activators inside Fabric, it's make it very easily for all the I would say all the engineers out there to understand the flows and to make an action efficiently rather than going back and digging through the root causes. Yeah, I would say.
Thank you.
So the next part is as I said, it's AI powered. It comes with the Copilot, and it's like the Chat GPT on your data, and you have the AI driven insights. So it helps everyone. If you are into the data factory area, so you can ask the to ask the Copilot that I want to create a data pipeline, and it can give you the basic pipeline. It will ask you some more question that I want to create a data pipeline moving data from A to B. Then it can create a template for you. So that's very helpful for data engineers there. And if you are working on the notebooks and you are very new to PySpark, and you are stuck in a code, it's like failing. You are trying to decode it, but you're not able to. There's a like 100 line of code of the logs are there which showed you the error. Then you can ask the Copilot then and there that this is the code is failing. Can you help me with this? It will go through your code and then give you the suggestion and also explain your code line by line. And if you are the Power BI user and you ask the Copilot, create a template for me for this report for the sales in all these regions, it will create the beautiful chart for you. It will create a dashboard for you as well. And that's, I would say, it's AI powered and make it the Fabric stand out because it's all integrated together. On the next page, it's just a small cliplet. If you can see, that's the person is asking the Copilot that it can suggest the content for the report, and it will create all this the charts for you over there. So that's why I think that Copilot is very well integrated with the Fabric, and I would say it's the cherry on top with the data integration platform.
I think Varun, this is extremely powerful, and you had that line in there, Chat GPT on your data, but I suppose for people to kind of get that reassurance that like none of their company data is being exposed to Chat GPT, like this is all contained, secured, governed internally.
Absolutely, it is the Copilot over here is like whatever. Like when you go inside a tenant, you have to enable it, and in the enable, it won't allow because it is more like Chat GPT. It's more like a Chat GPT, but it's more like I would say governed thing. The Copilot is more governed. it's very much regulated, so it will comply with the GDPR and everything. It's the data won't go out of your organization as well. It just keep it everything inside the organization. The Copilot over here, it just enables only at organization level, not outside that. You cannot integrate, you cannot get a data from this from the outside. It's just only for that particular Fabric tenant.
Yeah, thank you.
So it is more, this is all about the high level overview of the Fabric. And we have recently implemented the solution for our Irish government department, where we have created the cloud-based reporting like solution for them in using the Fabric. And it starts really from data ingestion, use the data factories. We use the notebooks for all the data transformation, data cleansing, and creating all the layers between them, silver layer, gold layer tables. And we integrated the Azure DevOps for the version control in there. And in the end, we were using the Power BI to create a dashboards. And we did a data governance using the Azure Purview. So it's overall all like the Fabric implemented over there, and heavily we moved from the monolithic architecture. It was they have their legacy systems, SQL servers, and the SharePoints. They have the third-party APIs. We integrated all data together into lakehouses, and we have delivered a dashboard for them to make the most out of the data. Moving on to the next slide, it's about how we as the Codex do the delivery approach. And what we do is first we do the data discovery and see what kind of data, how much data is there, what kind of it is there, what are the silos, and then we actually come up with a plan. Now, how we are going to integrate all together, how would your analytical platform would look like, what are the services we are going to use, what would the best for according to your data. And then it's go to the analysis, design, and a build phase, where we go through this way to build everything for you. And in the end, we do the UAT, and then we actually deploy it for our customers. And the last slide I have, just to wrap up. So the Microsoft Fabric represent a huge leap forward, I would say. It is, as we say, it is unified, AI native, lake centric, open format, enterprise ready governance, and familiar Microsoft ecosystem integration. It brings together the data engineers, the CDOs, business analysts, everyone together into one platform. There is no silos and no hands off and no reinvention, just data, action, and insight all in one experiences. I encourage you to explore Fabric today, whether it is through a free trial or a proof of concept, or by migrating just one use case. And I would say this is the future of analytics, and it's here now. If you want more resources about the Fabric, there is a Fabric analyst in a day training, in which you will go through no, I would say not very deep inside it, but it is the hands-on workshop where you will understand what the Fabric is, what are the lake houses here, how you create a data pipeline, how you work on the notebooks. So it will give you a little bit hands-on exercises as well. So through this workshop, you will go through end-to-end use case, where you ingest the data from maybe files, from SharePoints, maybe from Azure data like Gen2, or maybe another third party like AWS, or maybe the Google Cloud platform. You ingest data in your one lake as a bronze layer, then you move the data into your Medallion architecture through silver to gold using the notebooks and the data flows. And in the end, you will create the Power BI dashboards. So it will help you to understand more usage of Fabric and how it will help to you in your organization. So having said it, that's all I have. If you have any questions, you can ask us now, and you can always talk to Iman about it. Yeah, thank you for your time. That's my time here. Thank you.
Ron, thank you very much. I think that was excellent. It's a huge topic, right? So like there's so many different areas within Fabric. As Ron mentioned, we run training for people. We can do like a Fabric in a day session. We can consult with you. But I think the best approach is if there's an area of Fabric that you have an interest in, please feel free to reach out directly to me. We can set up a one-to-one call, review what your requirements are, and then help you with the next steps. But for today, everyone, thank you very much. That was excellent. Guys, just in the Q&A window, I popped in a link to a feedback form. If you could share some feedback with us, we'd really, really appreciate it. I'll leave this open for a couple of minutes if anybody has any questions that they want to pop in to the Q&A window. But for now, thank you very much, guys, and hopefully we'll talk to you again.
Eamon, sorry, there's just one or two questions there in the meeting chat there if you want to have a look at them about licensing, just before we wrap up.
Oh, my favorite topic. Yeah. See, there was a question there about the onboarding process. Didn't see the licensing. I saw there was a note about Desmond Dobson and his AI agent, but
there's a question there, where does one go to find out the licensing requirements?
Okay, yeah, I see it at the end. Yeah, thanks, Maeve. So Maeve, honestly, the best approach is to set up a call. I can introduce you to Richard Nolan, who runs our licensing within Codec, because licensing will be different for every customer. You may already have some components of Fabric licensing if you're already licensing Power BI. So I'm afraid it's a typical Microsoft answer to a licensing question, and the answer is it really depends. And Fabric itself is not one single license or different SKUs depending on the capability and the capacity that you need within Fabric. So you can actually start off with a very, very basic license, and then as you use more of the technology or you use more of the compute power, you can kind of scale up. But I'd say, Maeve, for that one, more than happy to introduce you to Richard, who's our licensing expert, and he can help you and maybe do a one-to-one call. And likewise, for anybody else who has questions about licensing, we can set that call up for you. Anything else I missed there, Sinead?
No, Eamon, it doesn't look if there's anything else. I'm just going to drop the link to the feedback form in this chat as well, just in case people want to access it that way either.
There was one there, not sure Jody is still on the call, Varun, but there was a question there from Jody. It says they're about to take on Fabric for the first time, and there's some standalone Power BI, and is there much to the onboarding process or any tips for the uptake? So if they already have Power BI and they're considering Fabric, what would you recommend?
Yeah, absolutely. Because like Power BI is easily integrated with your with the Fabric. So what I give you tips about it that you already using Power BI, so we have to focus more on how you are moving your data. Maybe I'm not sure where your data exactly is. You can migrate your data first into Fabric, and then you can integrate your Power BI with it easily, and it is very much easily integratable. It's just you have to start the migrations of your existing data inside Fabric. You can create the semantic model there, and then you can easily access it using your existing Power BI.
Yeah, and again, I suppose it kind of depends. So Jody, more than happy to do a one-to-one call. If you want to just email me directly, we can set up a one-to-one call and discuss that with you. Okay, I think that's us, guys. So thank you very much for this morning. Thank you.